All right, so look, man, we on the eve of State of Origin. You see the smile on my face. I'm definitely excited about State of Origin. Let me know in the comments who you think gonna win. Is it gonna be them Blues or is it gonna be them Maroons? Let me know in the comments. But with that being said, this ain't the actual State of Origin review. This is basically the pre-review. Not even a pre-review. This is the tips and predictions that I do every week. This is for round 14. Of course, we always start off with how the tips and predictions went for the week before, which was round 13. I did horrible. A lot of people told me they did horrible as well, so I don't feel as bad. I didn't take into consideration all of the players that was missing, either due one to injury or due to being in or participating in the State of Origin. So with that being said, we're gonna go through this real quick because I didn't win one single game. Last week, I think I went like I'm gonna just throw a random number out there. You can correct me if I'm wrong. Oh well, but I think I went like 5-1. The week before that, I went like 5-2, and the week before that, I think I went like 6-1. Like I was on the hottest streak. I ain't gonna say betting what, but just prediction wise that I've ever been on. This week, I picked the Sharks. They lost to the Eels. I picked the Knights. They lost to the Bulldogs. I picked the Panthers. They lost to the Dragons. I picked the Dolphins. They lost to the Raiders. I picked the Roosters, and they lost to the Cowboys. GoHamm didn't get one right last week. Not one game. Every single game that I picked, all of them was the underdogs. I thought I had this all mapped out. Like I said, not to make excuses, there were certain things and circumstances that you know railed me into the wrong direction. Anyway, that was the tips. That was the predictions that I did last week. We're gonna go over ladder board right now, and just to see who moved up and down. The Storm did move up into that one position. The Storm did not play last week. Last week they had a bye, but since they didn't play, they end up moving up into that number one seed because the Sharks and the Panthers did lose. What kind of confused me is that the Storm is 8-3 and Sharks is 9-3. The Sharks have one more win and they won head to head, so that's why I really don't understand how the Storm is in front of the Sharks. But the Sharks is at 2, and the Storm did take the number one seed. So the Sharks moved down, the Storm moved up, the Panthers moved down. So everybody's down 1 right there, and the Storm is up 1. We got the Dolphins. They lost, but they did remain the same as far as sticking in the 4th seed. The Broncos, they did move up. They had a bye week last week, but they did still move up. They moved up to 5. The Raiders moved up to 6. Sea Eagles moved up to 7, and the Roosters, they moved down a few spots down to the 8th seed. So if the playoffs was to start today and everybody would be and the season would be concluded, that will be your top 8. The Bulldogs and the Cowboys did move up a spot. Up a spot. The Knights did move down 2 spots. They're now 6-6 on the year. Not too high or low on the Sharks moving down a few spots, because I don't expect them to finish out the year as strong as they started the year, even though 6-6 ain't strong. But I kind of expected them to be a little bit worse than they are. So being at that 11th seed is kind of where I expected them to. Just to finish off because no other teams move, just to finish off the rankings is the Warriors, which is 5-6. They did have a bye last week, and they stayed at the number 13 overall seed as far as the standings go, which isn't ideal, but it isn't too bad because just within, a few more wins that they can put together back to back, they can also be pushing that top 8. What we're going to do now is we're going to get into the predictions for round 14. Round 14 should, in my opinion, should I say exciting? Yeah, I'll say exciting just because there are some key matchups with as far as seeding goes. And this is why I'm saying that is because there's bottom of the barrel teams playing bottom of the barrel teams, but there's also mid-tier teams playing mid-tier teams and high teams playing high teams. Not only is that the case, there's also State of the Origin that's coming up in just a few hours if we want to be exact. But with that being said, I'm going to actually start predicting every single game because a lot of people always say, hey, bro, you always just predict the games that's obvious. And I usually only predict the games that I believe is obvious because just in case somebody's actually putting some that behind the game, I don't want to give you a bad prediction. So what I'll do is I'll say what I think on certain games and what I would actually put some money on behind. We're gonna start off with the first game of the week on the 7th of June, which is this Friday. That's the Dragons versus the West Tigers. I'm going with the Dragons. West Tigers is terrible. Let's just throw that out there. West Tigers is terrible. We're going to rock with the Dragons on this one. Titans versus the Rabbitohs. The Rabbitohs is the worst team in the league. But I like their captain. I do think that they are a team that could string a few together to end the season within the middle of the pack range. I don't think they're good at all. I said I would never go with the Rabbits, but just on the wild side, since I've seen so many teams actually take L's last week that was heavily favored, I am going to choose an underdog right here, and I'm going to choose the Rabbitohs. Hopefully they're right. Cowboys versus the Warriors. Warriors, come out and play, yay. We rocking with the Warriors today, baby. Come on, Warriors. Prove me right, baby. Prove me right. We taking the Warriors over the Cowboys. We taking another underdog. So right now we got 2 underdogs out of the first 3 predictions. So, boom. We taking the Warriors. Like I said, hopefully that's correct, though. For the next game, we got the Broncos and the Sharks. This was a tough one for me. This was a real tough one for me. I'm not going to lie about that. This was a tough one for me. Reason being is because the Sharks have been balling. I believe my boy Reese is coming back. He is playing in the State of the Origin game. If I'm correct, I believe he's playing in the Origin game. But if he plays this game right now, I'm choosing the Broncos over the Sharks. So right now we got 3 underdogs in the first 4 games. I'm choosing the Broncos. Down to the Storm versus the Knights. Storm versus the Knights. The Knights disappointed me so much that I'm probably going to pick away from them from the next few weeks. Just to be honest, I'm thinking the Storm is going to handle this game and handle it in half fashion. So if all of the players is back from Origin, I'm picking the Knights, and I believe it's going to be a nice dub for the Storm. I'm picking the Storm, and I believe it's going to be a nice game for the Storm against the Knights. As far as the Panthers and Sea Eagles game, Sea Eagles have been on dog timing, but I'm not picking against the Panthers, even though they got the A-whooped and embarrassed me last week. But I'm still going to pick them Panthers. So hopefully everybody's back from Origin once again. And I'm going to pick the Panthers on there. And the Bulldogs versus the Eels. Both of these teams here surprised me. Both of these teams balled out. I'm talking about played their butts off. But with that being said, I am going to choose the Bulldogs over the Ills. I do believe the Bulldogs pulls this out on a Monday night game. Monday night, my time at least, is 2 a.m. Well, that'll be 2 in the morning. But anyway, we taking the Bulldogs over the Ills, and the teams with a bat is the Dolphins, the Raiders, and the and the Roosters. So that is going to summarize my tips and predictions for this week. Real quick, we're gonna go down them like super quick, which is game one. We got the Dragons, we got the Rabbitohs, we got the Warriors, we got the Broncos, we got the Storm, Panthers, and to finish the week off, we got the Bulldogs. I believe them is going to be some good predictions this week. Let me know in the comments what you think that I either got right or wrong or right. And tell me what you like I said, tell me what you think. Smack that like button so the channel could keep growing and the boy gonna keep grinding. But that is GoHamm TV's tips and predictions for round 14. We're gonna see how I fare on this one. So out of basically 3 or 4 weeks, 4 weeks that I've been doing this, I only had one bad week. And I guarantee this week is better than last week. And the reason why I can guarantee that is because I didn't win last week. Anyway, man, I'm going to catch y'all in the next one. Make sure you subbed up.